We are live.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, bam. What up, man? Good morning.
Good morning, man. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Welcome to
morning,
another
everybody.
edition of our madness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is here. Wait, where are we now? I can't find myself. Hey, there you go. I'm finding myself. All right.
You see it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me just like it with my page so that people can look at it.
Let's see. Yeah. So what up, man?
Not much. What was I doing? No, I've been just doing more figure drawing as far as like that. That's independent of it, the project. Just me practicing so I can make it
Mm-hmm.
better. I looked up some cardstock paper. But yeah, I mean, I know that I'm gonna use the Hanuman guy as the thing. I mean, I know I'm gonna use him regardless, even though in the sketch that I did last time, I had what is it now?
Yeah. Let's see the sketch.
Well, the one we did on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, here we go. So yeah, I'm gonna do I'll switch camera. Camera, camera. Let's go with the other camera. Right, there you go. Come on, show up, show up. There you go. So yeah, so then I don't
Okay.
know if it looks upside down to you or not, but
It does.
yeah, because I have to flip it over.
Okay. Just turn. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Just flip it. Like oh, perfect. Okay.
So that's the two that we made last Sunday on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch. Um, I like this idea with with Hanuman being there, like in the actual picture with the baby. So
Mm-hmm.
I was rethinking about it. I may incorporate it again, but I do like to keep like the intimacy of this piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like this more like I one like I said, as I told you like last time, like more like a personal journey kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That speaks to me more than the other way around, like kind of like having like this grandiose like piece. Because things can be
Okay.
still grandiose. You can still have scale. We can still move. I can still use a different scale for the image to make it look grandiose. But I want like the
Mm-hmm.
overall setting to be like a more intimate setting. This one is kind of intimate, but you're all out in the open. I don't know. I mean, I can still play around. I like the feel of both, but I just wanted to kind of this one feels more intimate to me than this one does.
And this is just a black ink on white, right? No
Yeah, just
colors, no nothing. Yeah, the
no,
final piece is gonna have more colors to it.
yeah. Well, the final piece is going to be made with watercolor pencils, so I have 36 colors. Well, I'm going to use these. Very
Oh, damn, 36.
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
I
that turn it around. Let me see the colors.
don't know if you can see them well.
Uh, yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, dope, dope.
Yeah.
36.
Yeah, man. I'm used to those pencils by now. I've done a lot with them, so I'm more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with that, and I can get to it. See, like all these are done with that. This is full of the drawings.
Oh, god damn. Or open the book. Let's just so open the random page.
Well, this is the latest one, so not one of the latest ones, but they're random pages.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all
This is
watercolor pencils.
dope. Dope, dope.
Thank you. So, but yeah, man. So I'm gonna use watercolor pencils. I'm a lot more uh comfortable with them, and like I said, I'm gonna do the like a more painterly look, so it's not gonna have the black outlines that I use. It's just gonna be
Mm-hmm.
color on color, which is cool because the way I can use other color pencils on it, and then kind of like complement it. So the base is gonna be made with the watercolor pencils, and then add
Mm-hmm.
texture and other details with regular color pencils, and maybe some crayons. Let's just throw in some random stuff.
Crayons. Okay.
Yeah, man,
Crayon.
crayons are good. Crayons are good. Crayons are good. They're a fun
Uh,
medium.
you know what's funny? I never, when I was growing up, we never had crayons where I'm from.
You never had crayons?
No, I learned about crayons when I came here.
Nice. Okay. Touche. How
uh,
about you? How about you? What have you been up to? I know that you recorded new drums.
we recorded drums on when last week on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
When I when I went to Brooklyn to Swiss Chris's house. I mean, he
Nice.
came through yesterday night to set up drums, so he may pop up at the studio at some point
Awesome.
to record more. But yeah, what we did last week, I think, gonna end up on the final what do you call it, song or composition.
Nice. Has there been any
And
change?
yeah, I've been tweaking the sounds, and I'm thinking about using a human bass player instead of using synthesizer.
Okay, nice.
And I have a friend who lives actually in Fort Lee, not far
Oh.
from Fela in the studio. Yeah,
Nice.
and he's a dope bass player, and his sound is pretty cool because he's using a lot of effects with the bass, so it's not just plain bass sound,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of synthesized and blended with just basic sound. So I think it'll be interesting to incorporate his knowledge in playing
A new flavor.
and new flavor. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think percussion sounded amazing already without even doing anything
Yeah.
as far as post production, and just sampling percussions was already adding a flavor.
Nice. I mean, what I heard on Sunday was pretty good, so I like that.
So we're moving along,
Nice.
and yeah, we say hopefully this. I mean, we don't know if this Sunday we're gonna start working on right.
Well, on the Sunday, I'll start the piece. Like, I'll
Okay.
start composing it on the actual paper, but it's a long, huge paper, so it's not gonna be done within one season.
Yeah, one session.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
should stop by and see what's going on.
Right? On Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Because we can really play music through this platform, and you can. I mean, you may see some of the corners of work next Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can. Like I said, if you have OBS, we might be able to get music on Facebook because there's that virtual webcam
Mhm.
that it turns OBS into the webcam, so it'll show up in StreamYard as another camera.
Oh, and then you can attach media to it, right? Like audio,
Yeah, because
video.
you'll be playing it through OBS. So if OBS picks up sound, then that camera that's OBS will just transfer everything here.
Send it through your. Okay, all right. I know. In this platform, you can insert a file, like a video file, like 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 2 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that, but I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, work in progress with AJ. Let's go, yo.
Yeah, I mean, now I was thinking too. Also, it's way ahead of time, so it might change. But like, since it's gonna be obviously it was gonna be a music track, and usually how I draw is like with layers, like in head. So like I'll put like the background, and I kind of like I'll build up. So if at one point, if I did at some point, and again I haven't tried this, this is me thinking now. If at some point I can figure out how to like scan things and make them look clean, then we can make it a digital composition of sorts. But we can adjust. We can kind of like. There's not going to be any animation per se, kind of like tree, no. But if we can have like a cutout, like a make it look like a storybook color, like look like cutouts of like pages, and then they kind of like move it around the screen. We can kind of do that and like shift perspective. So it's nothing. Again, it's not going to be animated in the sense that I'm not going to animate the characters, but we can animate like just kind of like stills moving across the image, or like have a camera that we can go through the
that would be dope. But wait, how do you? What's the process of scan? You scan each character by itself?
Well, it's kind of when I have like the line work, or like when I paint them, when I color them, and I'll scan them. I have to see how, because I've never done like a painterly piece with watercolor pencils, so I don't know how defined the shapes are going to be from one to another in order for them to be easy to cut out. Because cutting it out digitally, it just means selecting the borders around it. I mean, you can do it regardless of how complicated it is or how simple it is, but it's easier if the shapes are well defined because you can do just like automatic selection. If not, I can do it hand by hand, like with a digital pen. But the point is, like, it would look cool having like a 1080 video, the music playing, and as the music plays, you kind of like move into the picture, and then the things just kind of like start passing by. Then depending on the composition of the music of the piece, so like let's say you have like an element on this corner over here, and then we're looking at it from this part, and this is like the foreground. So then we can have the camera move from here towards that focus point, and then kind of like have the world unravel as you go through it. Because like every time that we have had like a music piece, it's like it always seems like you like you as the musician, you take us in to where we're going. Because like, you have a little intro, kind of like all right, it like hints at what's going on, and then you move on to the main body of the song. So that, but then you can correct me if I'm wrong. Since it's gonna be like a fully fleshed out track, it's gonna have a climax at some point, right? Okay, so then we can time the climax to be so that the camera reaches the focal point of the piece at that moment, and then if there's any tail afterwards, because I don't know how music has the peaks and valleys, so I can't tell you for sure. But in my head right now, it's like if there's any tail left after we reach the climax of the song, then we can use that part, that tail, kind of like to pull the camera back off, and then you go back to being like flat to the image that you saw in the beginning. So
okay.
Like as you listen to the music, you go through the journey of going through the picture, and then you see it.
Dope. Okay. Damn. That's actually more exciting than just.
Yeah, I mean, because for digital,
Yeah, I mean, because most of the time people's gonna see it on digital platform.
exactly. So like, if it had been like before COVID, then we could have been like, you know what, the main show is going to be a show that we're going to do in the city, and all right, awesome. So we can like plan for that. But there's no main show like that. So right now, I should think like, well, how can we make it like grandiose and have something that's exciting, but that's only available on digital.
Oh, that's an amazing idea. Damn, yeah, and you can actually move the characters according to the song. I mean,
Yeah, like
I think visually it's gonna kill it even more.
Yeah. I mean, because the music is good though. So I was gonna say like, and then I like my art, but I feel like it's not as striking if like on a small screen, So because people are gonna watch it on phones and they're gonna watch it on whatever. Like we don't know where they're gonna watch the video. So visually speaking, we lose a lot of fidelity when it's just tiny screen. But if it's something moving, it's a bit more engrossing. It's a bit more entertaining, so people are more excited to kind of watch it. Like, oh, that's cool, yeah. Because if it's tiny, you'll be like, oh, that's a cool picture, but I can't really see it. In my head, I'll be like, I can't really see the details, so fuck it, I'm just gonna leave it. I might still leave it on, so I can hear the song, but I'm not gonna be actively paying attention to it.
Okay, that's an interesting approach, but it's an amazing idea to approach it like that. Dope. Okay,
yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, because like I said, it's not gonna be animated, so whoever is gonna be watching this, hey, hello, hi, True, how are you? Side Jeeb. Sorry, I just saw you now. Hello, welcome. So again, it's not gonna be animated like fully, so it's gonna be like little piece of paper, and they're just kind of like moving around, kind of like rearranging them as they move. So we're gonna keep it simple still, but again, it's gonna be kind of like just going in, which makes sense in my head more now because the way when I use these, like I can compose for like having the scene of that be interesting in different layers. So like right now, so you have like the background is kind of like it's plain because it's supposed to just be in the back. Then I have like another layer of vegetation that I try to make here, and then I have another layer where this is in the middle, the Buddha, and then there's a layer for him. So all these would be different layers where we would be moving through. But since this is not made for that effect, then it's kind of simple. So, but I would make the background more interesting, just so that when I scan it, I can make it like a interesting layer to move through. And I mean, the animation is going to be dependent on how long the song ends up being. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's 3:45 now,
right.
3:30. So
Hi everybody, thanks for coming.
Hey guys. Okay, so what was the process of scanning? Then you're gonna work piece by piece, right? So you're gonna draw a character, and then you're gonna go ahead and scan it.
It depends on how I render it. So if I'm gonna render it, like, and rendering just means detailing it and applying the colors and everything, kind of finishing. So
Mm-hmm.
if I do render it by layer, then I can scan it by layer. But I don't know, because right now, so how my workflow right now goes when I do my pieces on live stream. Before it used to be I just put a flat color and everything, kind of like blocking the colors. But now
Mm-hmm.
I start I automatically start rendering from start to finish the piece that I'm going. So if I do the sky, I do all of what the sky needs to have, and then I move forward and keep going like that. So if I do the same with our piece, then I can do that, like scan it after I do a certain thing.
Mm.
Otherwise, it wouldn't matter either way, because if it ends up being uh easily defined, like if the shapes are always easily defined, then it doesn't matter if I scan it after it's all done.
Mm.
It's just a matter of cutting it towards in the computer. So like I'll use Blender and I'll use Photoshop to take out the pieces, and then I put it on Blender in 3D space, and I should move the camera in because Blender's already 3D, so there's nothing that
Mm.
I don't have to do anything complicated to achieve what I'm talking about. That's why I thought of it right now. I was like, wait, what can I do that I don't have to learn too much of, but still looks cool?
Mm-hmm.
And then in Blender, it's already 3D, so you just move it around, and then you have the camera, and wherever you put those things, they're gonna be on that space. So
Mm. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting concept. But the final piece, the final analog piece, we're still gonna have it, right?
yeah, no, yeah, we still have a piece that goes with the drone. The drone's gonna be dope. It's such a large format
Mm-hmm.
that it's not gonna be fully appreciated digitally.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just wanted to give it a bit like a little more fighting chance to kind of catch the attention, because I know that musically will catch attention. I know that that's gonna happen, but visually it depends on where you're looking at it, if it's gonna be a big display or not. So I have to give it a better fighting chance per se. Not that it's fighting with anything, but I'm just saying, like, I just want to be able to have people like, oh, like engrossed in the world that we created. You know.
Mm. Da.
So that's what I want to do.
Okay, damn. Oh, all right. So you're saying we have to have well, the subjects will be moving according to music, right?
Well, the camera pacing is going to be determined by the sound.
Okay.
So
Doesn't mean a composition needs to have a certain sounds
no.
for certain characters.
I mean, it depends. Up to you. That at that point, it's up to you if you want to do it like how we would do it on IG Live, and then
Hmm.
like, okay, what do we have there? So like, oh, I have a giraffe or something. Then you can do that.
Yeah, that's a loud motorcycle.
Yeah. Like if you want to put another a sound that goes with the thing, it's fine. Like I said, I mean, as I go making it, we can talk about what's going on in the music piece and on the visual side, and we can kind of like tie it up together. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be anything
Hmm.
specific yet.
Well, I know for a fact we have a water sound right now,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah. So I mean, there's definitely gonna be water
in the drawing, right?
in the drawing, because I just like water and I like the water effect, so it's very soothing.
Okay. So we still Thai inspired
Yeah, sir.
piece, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I like to keep it Thai. I mean, we already are in there, and my picture is going to be based on the mythology from Thailand. So
Okay. And the music is gonna be Thai-ish, so it's gonna be
listen,
inspired by.
hey, it's all inspired by it. It's just we have to
Yeah.
play around with different things.
But learning as we go, and now learning something new and adding moving elements to the still image. That's uh,
Yeah,
we've
I'm
never
trying to.
done it before.
Oh no, 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 absolutely not. I'm trying to see if I can um, show you what I mean.
Okay, let's
With,
go. Let's see it.
yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on. Not trying to figure it out, but I'm trying to set up a Fox. Uh,
Because
uh,
videos on Twitch gonna stay there for 2 weeks only, right?
yeah, videos on Twitch only stay 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
it's not. Oh, what the hell? Really? That's it? Oh, I have this. Here we go. Camera view 0. And,
Now that
alright,
I'm
so
thinking, now that
go
I'm
ahead.
thinking, we should download a couple videos from Twitch at least and post it on YouTube.
Yeah, if we have to, yeah. Okay, so look, I'm gonna show you what I mean so much. This is very crude, so don't think that this is like what it's like, but it's gonna be like
Yeah, just proof of concept.
yeah, but very like on a
Basic.
whim. Yeah, because I did it
Okay.
right now, so it's not like I'm doing it. All right, check screen.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna add it to the stream, right?
Yep.
All right.
All right. So you see how like you have like those squares. So as we go in, you kind of like
Mm-hmm.
so these squares we can move them. Those would be the characters that we would have. So you can kind of move it around. You know, and
Okay.
all these movements are gonna be they're gonna be made after the fact. So nothing that we have to worry about for the animation, like nothing we have to do for the animation, we have to worry about it yet. Because I want us to draw whatever it is, and then just I want to adapt whatever came out into an animation, but I don't want to compose for the animation. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to compose for it. I just want to see how it looks from what it is. Like, let's do it independently of an animation. The animation I want it to be like more like a byproduct of what we do. And we can play around with all these like camera modes. Everything that
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, different
yeah.
perspective. Oh, you can look at it from. Okay.
Yeah, so then the image is going to start off from the beginning, from the front, and then we move into it. But then all these things are going to be kind of like in different angles, maybe, you know.
Flexible, right?
Yeah, so we can do a bunch of different things with animation, you know. Like, and it's a very simple animation. Again, it's going to be just things sliding in and out of the shot, more so than like animating the character. That's not gonna be there. But,
Okay. For people who don't know what we're doing, if they just tuned in, can you show some of the pictures with you've done not last week but week before? It had like 4 images on the drawing.
hold on. So we have. Hold on. Have that paper magic. Here we go.
I can only imagine how much paper you have. You're drawing so much.
I have a lot of paper. I have more paper, like the card site I'm looking at. I have 250 pages coming in of 20 colors in total. So every page is a different color, and then that's because I'm going to use it for the October stream.
Oh yeah, you have like 10 days, right?
31 days, man. 31 days.
I mean, until 23rd, you have 8 days till it starts. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this was the beginning.
Okay, so potentially these images and characters gonna end up on that in the software you just showed, right?
Yes, but drawn. So let's say, for example, if I were to take this image, I would scan it. So then I would make this snake one element. And again, it would be just kind of like you cutting it out in real life and having the piece of paper in the same shape. And then these things, since they go in, I would probably just take the big ones and then scale them or like move them in 3D space further out so you can still get the same perspective. But instead of them being actually small, because this one's literally drawn smaller than this one, they're all going to be the same size, just arranged in a walkway. So then, as the camera moves, the camera would be moving into this, and you would see all these, obelisks kind of like moving towards the camera and passing by. You know, like one passing by and the other. So it kind of like moves towards the camera and opens up. So that's the idea. And the mask, maybe, I don't know, because the mask was more for like during a festival to celebrate the return of the Buddha. But since I'm now focusing more on the Hanuman and the Buddha itself as the subject, because like the Buddha. Hi, whoever's here again. So thank you, welcome. We're talking about a project based on the Thailand culture. So I'm showing sketches. Oh, that's what it is. Anyway, so this one is a kind of like a dancey kind of like, hey, let's go, wild kind of like party.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it would see, because either way, both of these are very like peaceful settings. They're like kind of like serene. This is like you're in a water kind of area. He's holding a baby, and the
Mm-hmm.
Buddha in the background. It's very like
Floating.
very zen, very like spiritual, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
spiritually inclined. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I like the whole like kind of like flute in the beginning of the track that we have so far,
Okay.
because it kind of like gets a little like sleepy feel.
Okay.
But I don't think that I would use like the mask, because the mask again is like for a more like a rambunctious kind of festival. In the legend, it says that the festival was so loud that it woke up the dead.
Oh
I
wow.
don't, I don't want to wake up the dead.
They partying too much.
Yeah, man. So we can't have it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it starts super zen, but
Yeah,
then it picks up. So somewhere in the middle, we reach the climax.
yeah. So as it picks up, so that's why like I want to get to like Sunday. So Sunday, because I'm guessing, are you gonna also kind of like start off on what would turn into the final mix?
Final composing stage, I think,
Okay.
because I think until I can start mixing, I think I need to finalize all the elements and
Yeah,
details.
yeah.
And now that we're incorporating more moving parts into it, I think well, even adding the gong last week, I
I
think
like the
it,
gong.
yeah, it adds like more ethnic vibe to
Hmm.
it. But I think to incorporate more moving uh, audible elements with visual, I think now it gives me perspective of just I don't know. Maybe I'll add some flying sound. It doesn't have to be like from Thailand or anywhere else, but it's
Yeah.
just flying sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it has to invoke an emotion, like, or give you a feeling of some other like distant land. Because,
Hmm.
like I said, that we don't have the Thai, or Thailandese, whatever, Thai instruments to replicate their sound.
Hmm.
But you're trying to follow, like you read about the scale, and also like you have a Thai base.
Hmm.
Like, as long as somebody from that culture can recognize something of it, I feel like we did a good job. Like,
Okay, yeah, fair
when
enough.
yeah, like like as long as somebody's like, oh yeah, this sounds kind of like blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, then yes, totally cool. Or like, oh, I know what that image means. Like, oh, great, hey. So like, and that's how I see it anyway. Like, I'm trying to, whatever I create, I'm trying to have somebody from that country identifiable, or like that, so that they can portray themselves in it in some way, more so than the rest of the world. Like, I don't really care in a sense. I don't mean that I don't care, but I'm saying, like, if somebody from Denmark looks at it and doesn't see themselves in it, but they can appreciate it, then sure, whatever, I don't care.
Hmm. Hmm.
But if somebody from Thailand says like, ah, I get it, I like it, and I understand what this is, then I'm like, yes, we won, success.
Exactly. All right. Yeah.
Like, I want the
Agreed.
rest. I want the rest of the world to appreciate it, but I want Thailand to understand it.
Okay. Then we need to find a couple of people
From Thailand, yeah.
from Thailand and just throw the kitchen sink at it. It's like
Yeah, like, hey, listen.
exactly. Give me
Yeah,
your opinion. If it's shitty, let me know if it's shitty.
yeah. Like, I want to learn. I want to be able to learn. I want people to be brutal, but like in a constructive way. Like, listen, this is good, but you fucked up this place. You fucked up over here. You need
Hmm.
to fix this up. I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, thanks. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Like, not because like, oh, you suck, so I hate those, and then don't talk to me.
Yeah, but hey, we're trying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody can give us like proper feedback in something that we tried, rather than criticize because they don't like it, I like that
Hmm.
feedback.
Okay,
Hello,
fair
welcome.
enough.
How are you,
CV.
CV? Hi. all over the world, man. I don't know what that says.
Me neither.
Well, they're from Morocco. Thanks for coming from Morocco.
Oh, okay, Morocco. Okay. That's what's up. Okay, that's interesting. The direction changes as we go. That's why we call this work in progress because
Yeah.
we never know where we end up next Sunday.
Yeah, but it's cool because at least we're doing it with a base. Like we have a starting place. Like every time that we draw something new, like when we used to do that IG live, we had nothing to work from, so it was always a blank slate. And then like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
just throw stuff in there. We have some time. No, and it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like kind of like you let it marinate. It's kind of like that good like an aged wine, you know. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So the time that we spend on it is not necessarily wasted because we have like subconsciously your brain always still tries to work out problems in your head, and I don't mean like
Mm-hmm.
problems like, oh man, I'm broke. No, like I mean creative problems.
Yeah.
Like it always tries to like work them out, like kind of like decipher them. So us having this longer periods of time to let the ideas marinate in our head, it works because even if we're not actively thinking about it, your brain's still developing that for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you want
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, wait, the other day I thought about this. And like, oh, hey, and you think about a new idea. So that's why I like the whole like animation thing. I was like, oh, wait a second, I know we can do that. Hey, how about this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dope.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Me personally, I wouldn't think about it because I have no idea how to even approach that.
yeah, but like at least hopefully I'm hoping that like at least musically you get ideas just because you have that in your head, like like, oh, Thai music. All right, hey.
Mm-hmm.
So like it doesn't have to be visually speaking, but like that's just where I'm coming from. So that's why I evolve it in a visual manner. But I'm pretty sure you can do the same musically, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think sounds have colors. Brighter, darker, colorful, or just dull colors. And there are aggressive sounds, there are mellow sounds, and since the beginning, it sounds like it's time to sleep. You're
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
fall asleep, but then all of a sudden it becomes not aggressive, but more dynamic
yeah.
piece. I think combining that with moving subjects will add a different dimension to and to. We've probably made 100 pieces already between all the work we've done for past 5 years.
Yeah, more or less.
Hmm. I think
Yeah,
it's
like
going to be a totally different approach. Which I
oh
mean,
yeah, yeah,
we decided. We said a couple of weeks ago. We sat down on the phone, right?
yeah,
We decided that we're gonna do something different and think outside of the box, not just being comfortable. It's like, hey, we have 2 3 hours. Let's just do whatever we do, and
yeah. No, we had to evolve.
yeah, yeah.
But do you think that now, as far as like you think the music is gonna go, knowing that now it's gonna have a video component, does that change it in your head?
Uh yes and no. Yes, because now I know that subjects will be moving. I
How does
think
that how does that affect the music now that you know that subject move?
uh, I think adding more dynamic sounds uh, throughout the composition definitely a a key.
Hmm.
I don't know what that means yet. I'm just throwing it, out there because I'm thinking, okay, well, if this snake is gonna move right here, so what kind of sound would that be
Mm.
on top of whatever we already have?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So does that, you know, is it gonna is it going to interrupt the music or is it gonna add another layer and
Mm.
uh, a feel to it? No, because I have a base I'm working off of.
Hmm.
I think I already have kind of intro and then it's going into main part, then it has like a verse, chorus, kind of bridge, chorus, and then it has outro.
Hmm.
But I mean, again, we're not, there is nobody, you know, I mean, but us who could tell, well, we can do it that way, and no, you can do it that way, but you can do it this way.
Yeah.
We can always change and move things around. So
Yeah.
we're not attached to just one a set of rules that can only be done in one way.
No, yeah, and like for sound wise, like I don't think that we have to, like just going to use the snake example you said, like it was moving
Mhm.
around. How would that sound like? I personally don't think that we have to use a like okay, if it was a like a chubby character, right?
Mhm.
In an animation, if you add like thick sounds like like a trombone or
Mhm.
like bump 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 bump, that sounds already like something heavy. So you
Mhm.
don't have to make the sound of somebody actually stepping that's heavy. It just sounds that kind of like give you the idea of something heavy. So
Mhm.
again, for the snake moving, we don't have to we wouldn't have to think of like what sound the snake makes, but more like
Mhm.
what kind of rhythm sounds like something would be a
Mhm.
snake.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't think like in that sense we have to incorporate any more sounds if you don't want to, because like you said, we don't know whether there's going to be adding to the music or interrupting it.
Mhm.
So you could probably get away, and this is just me talking, but you could probably get away with just something like a little like a I don't know like a kind of sound, like
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that could be like, oh, this is moving to that rhythm, so I get
Mhm.
that that's this. So I
Mhm.
mean, you
Totally.
just you can create your own soundscape.
And another thing uh, with all of this is like, how do you? Does it need to be like a song with lyrics and all of that, or is it instrumental completely? Because like, what kind of lyrics and the mood I will go for? I don't. I thought about it, but I didn't really fully think about it because I'd like to be. I'd like for this piece. I'd like it to be instrumental, but I
Hmm.
also hear the potential for it to be like a song.
Okay, yeah, that would be interesting. But question then, what if is it a possible thing, like say you finish it instrumentally, but then you can add the lyrics afterwards to it without changing much of the song? Like if like an instrumental version and a lyrical version.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
I mean, we could do that. We can do that like a lyrical version and use that for the moving video, and then have the instrumental. The
Okay.
instrumental is just like a picture. So it's not like as
hmm
involved. But like the lyrical one, so if you want to tell a story with like an actual spoken story, because I feel like music itself tells a story regardless.
hmm
But like if you want to actually say something in lyrics, why not? And then
Yeah, and I thought about. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks since we started working on it, and then the layout, the main part where you hear kind of. I always call it hook when you hear the hook, and then you go into the verse part.
Mhm.
And the structure of the composition is already built like a song.
All right, there you go.
Um, and now I'm just thinking how what story. I also thought about like a spoken word, just kind of like not audiobook, but kind of voiceover on top
Mm.
of the music. So it's not gonna be
Sang song.
yeah, it's not gonna be a singing per se, but more like a storytelling of
It's gonna be
I
a
don't.
very slow rap.
Well, that's or exactly. Uh, Maybe because all of those countries they have their own legends.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind for this to have like a short story or a legend. myth,
Mhm.
that some shit
Well,
happened, and
well,
here it is.
we can create our own myth based on what we know. So like
Mm-hmm.
so like we know that, for example, like the Buddha is going to be an element, Hanuman, the monkey god, is going to be an element.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have the Naga, which are the snakes. You have the Mangok, whatever. I forgot the name of the river. But anyway, the river is also going to be a part of the
Damn, I'm
picture.
surprised you remember all of these names. I'm like,
Well, because I've been
Bu-
reading about it.
Buddha. Yeah, I would remember that, but the rest, I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah, because I've read about them, so I have to like know. Because whenever I draw something based on something else, I have to know what the purpose of that was. So like, not necessarily, I don't have to just see like, for example, this character, right, Shadow. Bam,
Mm-hmm.
she looks cool and everything. All right, yeah. But if I don't know what he's about, I don't know what attitude to give him. Like I have
True.
to know what what his purpose is or why is he dressed the way he's dressed. So that way I understand his personality, and then I can draw based on that. So same thing with like the me using Hanuman. Hanuman is like the god deity, right? The monkey deity that saved God's daughter. So now I know that okay, Hanuman is a good-hearted character. So me when I drew him on this one, here in the top, me drawing him like gentle, like holding the baby there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not out of his character. Like it fits his character because that's his story that he saved a baby or a child. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing. So like all these elements, I have to like understand where they're coming from. Like even the Naga, those snakes, they look freaking creepy, man. Like the depiction, like how type artists in the past have drawn them. They're like
Mm-hmm.
mini dragons with like a bunch of like shit coming out of their face. They're not friendly, but they're not. I mean, they don't look friendly, but they are gentle creatures. They're not. They're not. They don't. They're not known for attacking anybody. They're known
Mm, okay.
as they pay reverence to the Buddha just like they do. So that's something like for somebody outside of the Thai culture that doesn't know what the Naga are, and they
Mm-hmm.
see a Naga in our piece, they're gonna interpret it completely different than somebody from Thailand, because when they see the Naga, they'll be like, "Oh, but it's such a peaceful piece, blah blah, whatever." And like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
talking about? You have like this huge fucking snake. How is that peaceful? And they're like, "Well, excuse me, listen, there's a blah blah blah," and then they'll know what that snake is, and that's why.
Makes perfect sense.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I hope so. That's what I'm going for as far as like as a visual. I'm trying to appease or appeal to the Thai people above everybody else. So that's why I have to like understand the philosophy behind certain images.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we spoke about it, because now in my head I'm like, the water starts boiling. I'm like, damn, what? Where can I find a legend from Thailand?
Well, it depends. I mean, like you can read on the on Hanuman legend. You can also read the Buddha, which is Prince Zaved, or Prince something when he returns. That's another legend. The Naga, the in the Ganges River, the Ganges. That's uh, another kind of like um, legend of sorts. So it's believed that the goddess Vaishnav Devi brought the river Ganges by shooting an arrow from her quiver, and thus the pool Ban Ganga was formed. So like shot an arrow, and then where the arrow went, it made the Ganges River. So
Mm,
like I can send you like a list of the characters that I'm using, but
okay.
all the characters have a story, and even Buddha has many tales. Like the main story of the Buddha is the prince that gave up all his belongings, including his children, and then he went on a journey, never to be seen again. And then he came back, and I don't know the whole detail, but like that's when he came back, and then we had the masked people, the loud party. That's when he
Hmm.
came back from that thing. It's like, oh shit, that's what it is. So like,
Party.
yeah, so every character that I've encountered comes with a story.
Okay.
So like I said, like I can send you the list of the characters that I'm thinking of applying.
Let's go. I think a spoken word and kind of storytelling with this would be. I don't know whether it's going to be at the very beginning when you start the composition, or it's going to be in the middle where you hear the hooks and melodies. But it can be done in my head. I don't know on how it's
Sprinkle it
gonna.
around, man. Sprinkle
Yeah,
it around.
yeah.
Because I have like a song. I don't have a song, but I've listened to this. I forgot Agnes Obel, I think it is. Yeah. So she has a song. That it's like that. It's narrated. It's not song in it. It's like this guy talks about the tale of like how this woman fell in love with an Indian warrior of sorts, like a chief in an Indian tribe, and he's a white. She's a white woman, so she's like, oh, her skin like as bright as the fallen snow, or something like that. It's like using a lot of like metaphors and whatnot. But he doesn't sing it. He just keeps going and tells you about their love affair, like how their love flourished. So I like that idea. I like the idea of having a narration on top of a melody rather than actually singing it. Not that you couldn't sing it, you can by all means sing it, but I do like the idea that you have of narrating like the story on top of whatever the music ends up being. Because
Okay.
it does add like I don't know, like it makes it feel more mystical.
Mysterious. I was just gonna say
Yeah.
mysterious. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay. Sure.
yeah,
You
man.
see, if we didn't talk today, I wouldn't. Well, I thought about it, but now that we're talking about it, and you're saying that we can pull a bunch of stories
Yeah, that's what
together.
I'm saying. Like, as far as like this visuals go, I'm just mixing stories up.
Okay.
I'm just keeping in mind what each character represents, so that the character that I put them in my own story makes sense to who they are in real life.
Uh,
So,
well, the reason why because Fela's mom,
Mm-hmm.
she's a voiceover actor,
Oh yeah,
and she does
let's
like
go.
voiceover audiobook. So I just need to send her plain text,
That would be dope.
and
Yeah,
she'll send me audio file back.
yeah, like a female voice would be kind of dope. Not gonna lie.
And she has that smooth, warm
Nice.
tone too. So it's gonna be like super mellow and like
Yeah, yeah.
and gentle female voice too.
Oh yeah, yes. Okay, cool. So the narrator is potentially female. That's cool.
And that's not even a problem. Those parts I'm like, if I send the text now, by the end of the day, I'll probably get voiceover.
Well, let's get that happening then, because that sounds cool. I like the idea of having a female voice narrator. Especially if she has a warm tone, like you said. Perfect. Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna use a lot of like warm tones in color. It's gonna be very simple in the sense that it's not gonna change too much yet. Like in my head, I don't have it being too loud, so it's not gonna be like this. This is too loud. It's
Yeah.
gonna be more like yeah, it's gonna be more like this, like in the sense that like colors kind of like go better together, like or something like this. Like they're not completely different. But like something like like this all blues. So it's blue.
Yeah, purple.
So it's like all like cool tones. So the tones for the image are gonna be warm, but it'll have like olive green, orange, yellow, like an orangey gray maybe for like the Buddha statue if I want to make him like metallic. So, but everything's gonna be a warm tone visually speaking. So if we can complement that with the voice, then it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Damn, we're like, but that's why it's work in progress because we change as we go.
Yeah, but at least again, like I said, we're changing it, but we have a base, so we're adding on top of that base. Like with your music, you already have a base that you can work on. So like your composition has like a tangible space that you already know where to work on. So I like this. This is our tangible space. Like we have all the past streams that we have had. It's just our base for where we're going. So as we keep going, it'll get more and more complex.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the amount of elements we're adding is, yeah, I'm literally incorporating what drummer, bass player, voiceover artist. So
Yeah.
adding more people to the projects. Yeah, one day I hope you'll see them. We'll introduce them.
Yeah. I hope so. But you know what's cool though? Like as far as like growing and adding more people to the project is like at the pace that we're growing it, we're having things to show them.
Hmm.
So it's not like, hey, you want to do this for us? Like, oh yeah, cool. What is it like? Like, I don't know yet. I haven't started.
Hmm.
Oh, then
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
mind. You know,
Never
like, hey,
mind.
this is what it sounds like. This is the schedule that we have. This is the story behind it. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, it's kind of like cool. So
Hmm.
I like
Okay.
having these meetings because regardless, we've made stuff like there's something to listen, there's something to look at. It's not just
Hmm.
vaporware. It exists somewhere.
Hey, maybe one day I hope once we finish the final music and final piece in like 2 or 3 weeks, we get everybody on the stream.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be
And
cool. Like a Zoom.
and then everybody will give their feedback
Oh, that'd be cool. Yes.
and thought process on
How they went
what,
about it.
yeah, what they thought.
Uh huh. That'd be cool. Yeah, we definitely have to do that. That's awesome.
So that would be at least 5, 6 people on the stream.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool because we can have like a community premiere. Because on YouTube you can set premiere, so you the host can be on the stream,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can do something like that, whatever on Facebook and just or fuck it, doesn't matter how we do it. We know how to. I know how to use OBS. We can use this StreamYard as part of the thing. The point is, it would be awesome if we have like everybody there and we have like a live premiere and the people that are behind the project are also there, and we can have like a Q&A afterwards. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Good idea. Good idea, man.
Then we always have crazy ideas that are like, God damn, how do I implement this? Okay, well, I can find a way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
But yeah, man.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, man.
So this Sunday was the deal. This Sunday.
Well, this Sunday, like I said, this Sunday I'm gonna start drawing on the actual paper, which is very large.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as we go on after this stream, I'll send you a text with the name so you can just read them. Like if you want to have like an idea of the story that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so then like when I start drawing on Sunday, it doesn't mean that I have a final composition in my head. I just know where I'm going because I already have visualized like a mood board per se.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sunday, I'm just gonna start putting in shapes and stuff like that. So then on Sunday, as you compose and as I draw, if we come up with something, then I can add to the illustration. That's why I want to start it off in that way, because I want to allow myself to add things that you might suggest while we're streaming.
Okay.
Or if you add something audible and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, like I like that sound, and you remind me of something, then I want to be able to add in. Because the further I get into my process, the more permanent it becomes. Like it doesn't become easier to take out stuff as I go. It becomes harder and harder to add or take out the closer I get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have control shift, I mean control Z. I don't have that.
Command Z, no Command Z, yo.
No Command Z, no. So I have like I have a time of Command Z-ness, whereas like just pencil. And even then, because if I get too far into the pencils, then it's just not gonna work, because then you're gonna like mess up something else.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
That's why the beginning, the Sunday's gonna be just straight up raw lines.
Okay. And then once you do that, at what point are you gonna start scanning things to turning into digital?
Well, that's when I'll figure that out as I go, depending on like how it looks. Like for example, like see these, the ones that I have here, the black and white ones.
Mm-hmm.
These I would have to have scanned in layers. Like the process went along because there's too much going on and it's all black, so it's kind of hard to differentiate it. Mm-hmm. Again, it's still doable, by hand, but if I want to have it be something that's easy, I would have scanned this. So like I would have probably like done the background first and then scanned it that way. Then I would do like the Buddha, scan that. Then I would have done Hanuman and then scan that, stuff like that. But if it's
Okay.
something like this, even though there's all like the same kind of shade, they're very clear shapes. So this is easy to scan afterwards, regardless.
Mm.
So it depends on what we're doing and how it is. If it's easy to just pick it out afterwards, then I just scan all of it together and that's it.
Okay.
Like what I can do as we go along, though, like as I finalize the composition and the elements that are in the composition, I can mock up something in 3D as far as just using like boxes and stuff like that and aligning them how they would be in the picture, so that I can start kind of like playing around with the camera movement, and we can have like proof of concept of like camera work. That's gonna be fun because your music is gonna be evolving regardless. So then when I do get to the point of like the camera movement, you'll have something further along the line anyway. So we can use that raw version for the camera cue.
Okay.
And that's it. But yeah, it's good.
That's what's up.
It sounds like it's gonna be complicated, but it's not. It's just gonna be moving a camera.
Okay. I mean, regardless, we're gonna try everything.
Yeah, we don't know until we try, right? Yeah, we don't know until we try. Why give up before we start?
Yeah, can't do that. Can't do that.
Uh-uh.
All right. Yeah, man. Every time we sit down to talk, it's already 57 minutes.
Because we always have something to say, though. It would be different if we had nothing to say. We're like,
yeah.
So like,
yeah.
We have stuff to say.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay.
So, how about you? What are you gonna do on Sunday? What's your plan right now?
Well, the plan is to research all these legends for voiceover artists. Get a bass player, hopefully this week Saturday. I hope so. And then and put some of my instrumentation that I need to re-record. So those 3 elements I need to do sometime soon.
Nice. All right. Well, you have your heads full.
Yeah. There's a lot of homework.
That's why I like it, though. I like the whole fact that we learn. I like that I know of these legends now. Like I can, I know what that is. All right. So yeah. Well, that's about it for our stream today then. Thanks everybody that came. Anybody that's watching later in the VOD, thanks for watching. We'll be back on Sunday on Twitch. Links on the bottom, right there.
Right there. Where is it? Right there.
Yeah, right there. And then we'll be back on Wednesday, back on Facebook again, around 9 o'clock. And
yeah.
So yeah, thanks again for watching.
All right. Peace,
guys.